What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz. So today we are looking at a fairly bullish looking market here in the sense that many of the coins are up. There's only two in the top. Well, let's see. Only two in the top three in the now two coins in the top 10, 20 or top 20 that are not in the green over 24 hours. Only one outside of Tether that's not green over the last 7 days. So yes, I would say that we appear to be looking bullish. Now let's see if everyone can hear me. Go ahead and smash up the likes and let's kick this thing off. If you guys like these live feeds and you're trying to figure out why you're not getting plugged into these live feeds, turn on that bell and you'll get notified when these are happening so we can get into this. So we spend the first 20 minutes talking about cryptocurrency and the market, really dialing it in. We're going to take a look at some altcoins and Bitcoin, see what's going on there, and then we'll open it up to a real broad discussion and talk about what you guys like to talk about. So, all right. If we just want to talk about some of the main things that I think are really driving this market is the interest from big capital. The Goldman Sachs to open a Bitcoin trading operation is really big news because we knew this was coming. We knew this kind of stuff was coming, but the mainstream media was pumping that narrative to kind of cool things down while this infrastructure was being built. That's why I kept saying several times in my videos, I felt as though it didn't make sense why the market would slow down other than the fact that the infrastructure in the market was just not up to snub. It wasn't ready to handle all the volume that was getting ready to come down. Now, if you see all that volume come in and you're a market maker, why would you want to just crush that and kill that? No, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you've got that in your possession, that that's yours and that you're going to be the one to win out when that happens. And that's kind of what I think ended up happening was these big players, they saw that this thing could be really hot. They saw that digital currency, cryptocurrency was a huge trend for millennials. And remember, millennials, they define things. Millennials built Facebook, they built social media. This was back 2006, 2007. Think about what your mom and your dad and your grandparents said about Facebook when you first told them about Facebook. They're like, no, I'm not getting on that, right? Well, all the college kids were, and then mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, all of a sudden now they're on Facebook and you can't get them off the dang thing, right? Same thing with cryptocurrency and digital currencies. Mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa, they're like, no cryptocurrency. It's fraud. It's this and that. But then all of a sudden, all the youth get into it, make it popular, and then next thing you know, they're gonna start using it, and it's gonna be like the next big thing. So when granny coin, right? um, So you guys are saying ETM is pumping. Yeah. So if you want to know, so a lot of you guys I know in the community hold Electroneum because we've talked about Electroneum a few times. But for those of you who've been waiting it out with Electroneum, it's just like anything. You just kind of got to hold. You can't, once you get bored with it, it's usually a time to buy. But some people took that opportunity to sell. And now they see the Electroneum is one of the top moving coins today, up 26% at 3.2 cents. So we'll see where Electroneum goes. Does that mean that we're out of the woods with Electroneum? No, but the mobile miner is getting big news. If you guys like the mobile miner and you want to follow someone who loves Electroneum, you guys should be following Crypto for the People. So um, let's take a look here, dial this in. ETN is so cheap. Yeah, I think ETN is cheap even at this particular moment. But I think the big news today, guys, is this is the price of Bitcoin, the market being very strong looking and continuing that 2 week trend that we're on, where we're pushing forward here at a $455 billion market cap. And if we just look at some of these other coins that have been performing really strong, IOTA is impressive. Currently sitting at $2.60. People see, this is what we're learning here, guys. Many people, when a coin would go down, they would look at that as a bad thing. When the market went way down, they looked at it as a bad thing. But to the real savvy, wise investors, they're like, this is a dream come true. They're getting excellent sale prices on things. But what happened was the market doesn't just dump, like it doesn't just dump off all the way. So it gradually sells off, right? So what you have to do is look for the bottom. Well, we might have thought that Bitcoin was going to bottom at 10, then it didn't bottom at 10, it took down to 8, didn't bottom at 8, then it went down to 6,500 and people were calling for it to go lower. And we, even on this channel, were saying that's a potential that Bitcoin could go lower, but we were still buying when it would retract, and we were, if it was going to continually gradually sell off, we would keep, I can only speak for myself. I would personally put in a little bit more money once I realized that once Bitcoin went below 8,000, actually 10,000, I knew that that was because 10,000 was a big moment for me with Bitcoin in the market. So once it went back below that level, I looked at it like, well, as long as Bitcoin's below 10,000, it's in a buying range. Right now, it's at 9,600. So I think Bitcoin's, once it passes 10,000, then I might not be so interested in buying Bitcoin. But as long as it's under 10,000, I look at Bitcoin as an opportunity. We could still dip, but it depends on what your mind frame is about that, right? Are you one of those people that when Bitcoin starts to retrace, you see a buying opportunity and you're like, this is a dream come true? Or are you like, oh my gosh, I'm upside down on my position that I bought at 9.6. Now I have to panic sell and sell it right here. What's going on, Lincoln? Thanks. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, when I was over in Asia, I was sick, so I didn't look very healthy. When you get sick, you kind of look groggy and stuff. But now that I'm starting to feel healthy again, I'm back in the States. That whatever it was that got me in China is kind of cooling off, so I'm feeling a lot more healthy. Hold TRX. Yeah, I mean, but if you're going to hold TRX, at what point? What's your exit strategy on Tron? Right? Are you going to hold Tron till the cows come home, or are you going to have a time where you're going to finally part ways with Tron and take your profit? Because at some point, these things are going to reach a peak, and then they're going to go back down, and then people are going to call Justin Sun a scammer and blah blah blah, and they're going to do the whole cycle all over again because we're going to have a bunch of newbies back in the market. And what did newbies do? Well, what did you do when you were a newbie? You had some pessimistic viewpoints. It doesn't make them bad people. It just, that's what we know about the nature of the market. When the market's up, people are excited. They're seeing Lambos. They're excited, happy. Nothing could go wrong. Then when the market goes down, people get depressed. That's why they call it a depression. Smash up the likes if you guys are new here and you're excited about this bull market that we have stepping on the scene. Ralph Raymond says he'll sell Tron at $1. Don't really like the leader, to be honest. Okay, so you guys, yeah, I mean, I don't have any reason to. I look at him for what he's doing, right? So is he talking honestly? Is he trustworthy? If he's trustworthy, then that's a good thing. If he's not trustworthy, then we have an issue. So do you guys trust Justin Sun? And that's the question. What's up, crypto man? Yeah, I went on Island Hopper TV. I went live over there. Thought I was on Altcoin Buzz, and I started talking about cryptocurrency on that travel channel. So I guess that's a big thing for that channel. Now they know about cryptocurrency, but my intention was to go live over here. Thanks, Christine. Bob says he smashed the likes. Well, that's good. Oh, you guys are asking where's Steve? You know what? I'm gonna have to see what's up with Steve. If you guys want, let's see this. All right, so Steve, if you're watching right now, we have 168 likes. If you guys want videos from Steve, smash up the likes. Okay, so we're at 168. Oh, 175. So you guys like Steve, right? You guys want some more videos from Steve. Like, what's up with Steve gang, right? You guys miss Steve. I miss Steve on Altcoin Buzz. We need to have some Steve action back in the community. 203, went from 168 to 215. Yeah, Steve, if you're out there, where are you at, man? Someone text Steve. 220. This thing just keeps on rising. All right, yeah. So Steve, 225. We need to get Steve back on there. Drunk Steve. Oh. Neat and Pearl, he says, I smashed it. Shaylin is cool too. Yeah, you guys miss Shaylin too. We'll get Shaylin back in the mix too. I mean, so can Steve dress in scuba gear so we call him Scuba Steve? Well, I'll have to ask Steve about that. 245. So you guys are big on Steve. Steve is the man, but he must have left. Jeff, haven't heard much from him in months. No, Steve is still around. Steve is still around. He's still in the game. Do I need to text Steve right now and be like, dude, I'm live and people are saying, where the heck are you? All right, I'm texting Steve right now because this is crazy. You guys are like, Steve Gang is in full effect. Where is this guy? Steve, let me see here. Altcoin Buzz audience says you need to make video. a video. I am live. All right. Anyways, back to cryptocurrency. Jeff, would you be able to tell us about Zebi, Substratum, and Ethos? Well, did you guys see what happened yesterday with Substratum's Twitter? I made a video about it as it was happening because, as you know, altcoin buzz ladies, Corey, Rocky, you guys know Corey, you know Sarah, you know Candace, you know Brooke, you know Renee. So, well, anyway, Corey, she tagged me in one of those Twitter posts, Blockchain J. She hit me up over there, and I was like, "What is this?" And it was Substratum announced that they're a token on uh, co- Coinbase, and I was like, "This is crazy." I was like, "So Coinbase is going to take a token on uh, Coinbase finally," and I was like, "Well, I didn't see that coming," and I was like, "Of all the tokens out there, it's Substratum. Wow!" And I was like, "Okay, well, let's make sure this isn't one of those scammer accounts." So I was like, I went to the Substratum. I made sure that was the real Substratum Twitter account. Come to find out, it was the real Substratum account announcing that they were getting uh, put onto Coinbase. The price of Substratum shot up. People bought in. They lost their money, I guess, if they sold. I mean, you don't lose unless you sell, right? And then come to find out, Substratum's like, no, 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 that wasn't a real tweet. We got hacked, or some sort of hack happened. Hey Jeff, do you think when altcoins reach all-time high, they would be go to bull run like we see when Ripple when it hit 330 what? Milan. Say that again, man. What's going on with Bitcoin Dark? Stellar Lumens thoughts, please. Well, you know I like Stellar Lumens. If we just look at Stellar Lumens right now, Stellar Lumens, 43 cents, up 15%. It's got a long ways to climb from here. I would say that a lot of these top 10, top 20 coins are starting to get overvalued. Not overvalued yet, but they're getting close to the point where they're not as great of a buying opportunity as they once were. Because remember that over the last week or two, you guys weren't agreeing with me, but now you're seeing why. The top 10, the top 20 are the coins that are moving the most. This is why we were invested in that. Sure, you have some coins that are creeping up in there. One in particular that's been doing fantastic that's in the top 50 is Golem, right? So the supercomputer Golem, Zilliqa kind of coming out of nowhere. You also have Eternity, something that I'm not too familiar with. Wanchain's been another steady buy, and BitShares has been really performing. It's funny because I remember when I had a chance to buy a ton of BitShares at 2 cents, kind of like when I had a chance to buy a ton of Cardano at 2 cents, right? So I still have all that market insight into what I remember about the current dynamic. So I'm always looking for these next amazing projects that can come out and change the game, right? And that's kind of what we're getting back into that is, oh, you guys can't hear? Can you guys not hear me? What's going on? Okay, you guys could say, and then someone said they don't have sound. All right. Well, someone said no sound, bro. Sound is good. Yes, we can. All right. So, anyways, yeah, you guys can hear. I got it. I got it. All right. Let's get back to the smashing them likes if you can hear, right? Just smash the likes if you can hear. We're at 261. You don't need to. Let's talk about things in the comments, though. I hear from Portugal. Datum. Let's take a look at Datum because I've been invested in Datum for a while. I know a lot of you guys also are invested in Datum, a project that we believe in because they're decentralizing data. Like people are not too pleased with some of these major oligarch social media platforms that are taking data and they're using it and they're selling your data to other people and companies with against your consent. And one of the things that Datum is doing is saying, no, let's decentralize your data, but let's take it one step further. If you do want to sell your data, you should be paid for that data that they have on you. And that's what Datum does. So whether whether Datum is the ultimate project to pull off the decentralization of data, that's one thing to be discovered. But nonetheless, their idea behind it is interesting, and that's why we like Datum. And I think overall, I've been excited about this project. However, it's been low now, which you could say is a buying opportunity for those of you who see the big picture here. Although it's not down too much. I mean, it peaked at what 13 cents, sitting at 4 cents. So I mean, it should in my opinion, Datum should revisit that all-time high that it had at some point. I don't see how the project wouldn't be able to pull that off. it's on KuCoin, which is probably the best exchange that it's on, but it's also on Huobi and OKX. But Datum, decentralizing your data and trying to find a way for you to get back in the game with your own data, right? And that's why if you look at their website, it says Datum is a decentralized marketplace for social and IoT data powered by Ethereum. So it's an ERC20 token. Data already moves like money does, impervious of hackers and under control of no one entity but its owner. This data can be shared as much or as little as anyone likes. So you guys asked about Datum. That's how I feel about Datum. Is I think that it's got a great utility and what they're doing is amazing. Oh, it lagged on you guys. So there was a lag during Stellar. Well, I said I like Stellar. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that's going on with Stellar that makes Stellar so amazing. So if we go to Coin Checkup, right? So if you guys haven't already gone to Coin Checkup, if you just want to keep up to date on the news, this is where I go with the projects. And you click on Stellar and you can go all the way over to where it says events. So right now it's not announcing any roadmap details for Stellar, which is kind of odd for their Coin Checkup because it had that before. That's coming from coinmarketcal.com, right? So Stellar, let's see if we can get some detailed information on Stellar here. Stellar, let's go to their Twitter and see what's going on with Stellar. Coin Checkup is having an issue right now. So Stellar is now listed on Bitfinex. That was huge. Bitfinex has been one of the largest exchanges for a long time. They've obviously got some issues with trust, but they've appeared to have solved some of those. And the Tether controversy is another thing. But if you're big into Stellar, you should take a look at Jed McCaleb. He's I believe he's the co-founder of Ripple. He's also one of the big guys here on Stellar. So he's really talented, and with him leading the quarterbacking and leading the helm, I mean, you have to trust that this guy's an admiral. He's a general. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for a while. He's behind Ripple and Stellar, two top 10 projects. So follow Jed McCaleb if you guys are involved in this project here. Tokenizing real world assets on Stellar. So you know that Stellar is going to be a decentralized application. It's also, so it's, that's why I always compare Stellar and Cardano. So Ripple is just a currency XRP, right? It has that ability to speed up currencies for banks and they're working with banks. Stellar's like that, but except it's also a decentralized application developer platform. Mick Silver, he just asked me something about boobs. Hey, at Altcoin Buzz, we'll talk about anything, right? I don't really have a preference for boobs. See that? He's like, this guy asked me, he said, Jeff, preference, big boobs or small boobs? Oh, is it lagging? This is silly. You got to be kidding me. This video is lagging. Thanks for live stream, Jeff, as long as there's boobs. As long as you guys don't ask me for my boobs, I'm happy. Um, yeah, no lag. Okay. Smash up the likes if there's no lag. Okay, so this is the second time someone had said that there was no sound and then lagging. I wonder if they're just trolling me. They're just saying that to throw me off. You guys are funny. You're like, let's see some boobs. I'll, you know how I respond to that is button up one of these buttons, right? Not happening. Not at all happening. You're like Will Ferrell of crypto. Hey, that's I'll take that as a compliment, honestly. I like Will Ferrell. You know that since you guys are talking about boobs, if you guys like boobs, you should watch that Will Ferrell video, Boats and Hoes. Dude, that song, I listen to that, like, it just cracks me up. Sometimes I'll just be like, I just pops into my head. I'll be on a boat. There's that other song. I'm on a boat with that dude from T-Pain. You know T-Pain. I'm on a boat. So when I'm traveling around the world, I'm listening to like, I'll be on a boat, and those songs will just pop into my head. That Will Ferrell song is one of them. Why is LTC dropping? Well, when LTC drops, you guys should be looking at the big picture and saying, "Hey, LTC is dropping. This is a buying opportunity." If you're already holding So if you bought LTC at an all-time high and you see that it's well off its all-time high, you have one of two choices. You could say, "Oh my gosh, I'm panicking. LTC is gradually selling off. It's going to zero." Or you could say, "Wow, I really like LTC. I think it's a fantastic project. I believe in what they're doing, and I think they have a great utility. So now it's a buying opportunity, and I'm going to hold on to the stuff that I already bought, and I'm going to buy some more right now." But what new people do is they buy high, it goes down. They want to sell, so they'll take the loss. They'll go into another position that's going to the moon. They'll buy high there. Then that'll go down. They'll call it a SHIT coin, and then the cycle just continues. Then they get mad at me when I say no, we don't buy high, we buy low. So when people are sad about a position, like they're getting about Litecoin, now would be an indication to say, hey, it might be a good time to step into Litecoin. Now, this isn't professional financial advice, but that's when you buy. You buy when it's not looking so great. Unless you really think it's going to zero. Now, do you think Litecoin's going to zero? Being that it's on Coinbase? Probably not. So wouldn't now be a great time to buy Litecoin, right? So if you're down on your position on Litecoin and you just remember back to why you bought in the first place. What are your thoughts on BTC price prediction? Well, I don't do predictions. I do forecasting, and when I do forecasting, I look at market conditions. It's just like if I'm projecting weather, I want to know what weather front's coming. Is it a high, a low, or what? Is it packing a lot of rain? Is there a hurricane coming? Then I can anticipate, but I still won't know where it's going. See, a prediction is like not being able to see anything, and you're just blindly guessing, right? So if I'm going to do anything in crypto or any market forecasting or anything in crypto as far as analysis, I'm looking to forecast. And what am I looking to forecast on Bitcoin right now? Well, number one thing that I have to go off of Bitcoin is the market cap that it once had. So if we just look at where Bitcoin was when it was at what 300 and I think it had a $300 billion market cap. So I think that definitely at some point it well, not definitely because there's no guarantees, but it is highly likely that Bitcoin will revisit its $318 billion market cap that it had in December 18, right? Now bear in mind Bitcoin dominance is going down because more and more altcoins are coming in and they're competing with Bitcoin, right? But the I would say that I don't see why Bitcoin, the brand, couldn't be as valuable as something like, I don't know, say, I want to say something like Microsoft. So, what's Microsoft's market cap? I'm not saying it's got a long ways to go before it gets there in terms of real value. But as far as the brand goes, it could potentially be that valuable, even if it's not as influential as Microsoft has ever been or could be. But being that it's a fintech, it could have a 700 about a $700 billion market cap, and that would put Bitcoin's price around about 35, 40 thousand dollars per Bitcoin. So that's a way I could forecast. I would have more fun forecasting Ripple or Ethereum or some of these other coins aside from Bitcoin and giving a forecast on that than I would necessarily about Bitcoin because Bitcoin it has been the standard. So it's like it's the Bitcoin standard. Where Bitcoin has been is where we can forecast other coins to go. So the only thing we have to compare Bitcoin against is the stock market and some of these other brands. Chance that ETH gets labeled as a security. I'm not. I don't have any sort of clarity on that other than yeah, there is a chance that it could be a security because of the fact that it's these tokens are ICOs. Anytime there's crowdfunding like that, there is a chance. But the best person you'd want to ask is Chris Giancarlo on Twitter. But the thing is, because he's a government official, he's probably not going to respond to you. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Tron. I'm seeing a lot of Verge here. Hexcoin, privacy master nodes, CPU mining, low supply, 1.6 million, low inflation. So that leads me to my next interesting thought that I was having yesterday. I was thinking, I was saying, okay, so one of the problems that we have in cryptocurrency, yes, smash up the likes, guys. I thank you to everyone who's doing that. We're at 24-minute mark, so we'll start to loosen up the conversation and turn it over to you guys. But One of the things that I was thinking about was how Bitcoin could potentially be centralized. So all it takes is a big player, Soros, Kanye West, whatever, someone with a lot of money. I don't think Kanye has enough to really be influential because he's only worth millions and I think he's in debt. But Soros, someone who's got billions, because billions is a lot more than millions. Even if you had millions, 1 billion is still more than millions, right? So Soros having billions could easily buy up a lot of Bitcoin. And there's multiple billionaires out there who could easily buy up a grip load of Bitcoin, which could make them market makers of Bitcoin pretty easily. Now, because Bitcoin's got a cap on it, who's to say that it couldn't be bought out and totally centralized? So it got me thinking, I'm like, how can you protect against that? What if you had an unlimited supply? So what if your currency was unlimited supply to hedge against that? So one of the reasons you don't want to create more coins is because you'll affect the price, right? But one of the ways to offset some of the centralization that can occur in that is to have an unlimited supply of coins. So I got to thinking, I was like, wouldn't the ideal currency for an everyday currency be unlimited supply? And that's a question to you guys. What's up, Chris Lopez? Thank you. I don't know who Crypto Cup IO is. Never heard of them. Would I wait for a dip to invest right now? Um, we're in one of those situations where it could go lower, but the indicators appear to be there that we could be starting to look very bullish, and that because we're in a 2 week uptrend. We take that 3 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, every once in a while we'll do 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, but for the most part we're on an uptrend. If you just look at the market cap, and we've seen this before where it teases us a little bit, it looks like it's going, and then all of a sudden, bam, it crashes back down. But since about April 6th, we've been moving up, right? So I think overall, the market is still undervalued. As long as it's under $500 billion, it's probably undervalued. Uh, and then you just look at it on a case by case basis. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I feel as though Bitcoin being at um, under $10,000 to me is still a pretty good buy no matter what. But for someone who's impatient, if Bitcoin pulled back to 6,500 and they bought it 9,006, what should their outlook, or how should they be viewing that? They should be saying, well, I'll hold my position at 9,006 and I'll look to buy more here at 6,500 if that were to happen. So then you're looking at a win-win, right? That's kind of the way that I approach it. I'm looking for the wins. And if my position goes down, and I think back to why did I get into this position to begin with? So then I say, well, this is a buying opportunity. Like I bought Cardano at 35 cents and then it went down to 13 cents. I was like, I wasn't looking to sell my Cardano that I bought at 35 cents at 13 cents. I was saying buy more at 13 cents, right? So you see, that's kind of the way you can approach it. Lucas Groot says it's not Bitcoin's not going below 700 again, or 7,000 again. Well, neither you or I know for a fact if it's not, but if it does, it's not going to affect my mentality or my outlook on it, because I see it as a win-win no matter what. If Bitcoin goes to the moon and never comes back, then all the stuff that I bought into at Bitcoin's price there, I'm solid on. If it goes down, I can still accumulate more and keep building my position as I continue to put 10% of my income in there, right? Because I'm not trying to overcommit myself either. Some of you guys say, "Oh, I'm 100 in crypto." No, I'm saying I'm like 10, sometimes 20% of my income goes in there, and that's not cutting into my uh, rent money. That's just cutting into my luxury. Look, what do I spend on luxurious items, right? Like sometimes I'll say, "How much did I spend today?" I only spent $20 today, right? Well, it's different than if I spend $100 every single day for petty cash. It just depends. So, how are you saving money to create more opportunity to buy more Bitcoin? Are you cutting back on cigarettes? Are you cutting back on Red Bulls and coffee? Or if you're a big baller, what are you cutting back on? Are you cutting back on your Learjet fuel from San Francisco to New York? Instead of flying from San Francisco to New York every week, you're doing it now twice a month. I mean, but I doubt I'm talking big ballers like that. But some of you guys could be on that trajectory to be some big ballers, right? Smash up the likes if you're going to be a big baller one day. Let's see how we got 400 likes. Let's see how many of you guys are have aspirations to be a big baller where you're owning your own Learjet. 423. So we went for 400. So we have 33 people out there, plus the people who've already liked it. Biblio Baker says he gave up smoking and he still is a Red Bull addict. Dude, I drink Red Bull. Here, I haven't had my Red Bull today though. I just had French toast, eggs, and bacon. But I'm looking forward to my Red Bull that I'll have in the late afternoon when I start to get tired. It's like something I look forward to is like an energy drink. Cause then I like sit down at my chair and I'm like, all right, time to dive in and study crypto. This is not a Red Bull endorsement. I don't work for them. I'm not even sure if it's healthy. I actually hope I hope it's not hurting my health. I hope it's not hurting your health. So just full disclaimer out there. I don't know what the health effects are of Red Bull because my mom, she was they say don't drink too many Red Bulls. I'm like, all right, can I have one a day? So I'm at one a day right now. No more going out to eat, lol. I eat crypto instead. There you go. 460. So 60 of you guys out there, plus plus or plus give or take a few, have aspirations to be doing some big things in life. Now, those aspirations, I hope that they're not just materialistic aspirations. I hope that they're like really with a purpose and like driving, doing things that are uh, have purpose behind them, not just trying to just consume and waste and wasteful spending. Now, there's also the side to the millennial crowd that thinks that anything that has to do with making money is a bad thing. And I don't agree with that because in the millennial crowd, I've met some people who think, oh, I'm not making it. I'm not trying to make any money. Like, that's a cool thing. It's like, no, here's the thing. Here's a way to look at making money, right? So if you have a business or a hobby, right? And you monetize it, you turn it into something that makes money. The fact that you make money or add a monetary value to it will enhance your craft. It makes your craft more focused. So because you're invested in it from a monetary aspect and it's not just a hobby, that can allow you to make, you know, to be more focused with the way that you're going about it. So that means that the money aspect of it added a better value to it. Now, you could say I'm not in it just for the money. Like the reason I got into this was not because of money. The reason I turned this into a business is because it is a business. Let the gains come and travel the world trading on the go called doing a Jeff. Yeah, crypto cruising says that. But actually travel did not pay for any of my or yeah, crypto did not pay for any of my travel. But I was participating, I was buying more crypto while I was on the road, except for when I was in China, I couldn't even access exchanges. Thankfully, Japan would let me. In Macau, which is in China, I was even before I went on the exchange because I hadn't logged into an exchange for so long. Like my first 2 weeks on the road, I didn't even look at exchanges because the market was down. But once the market started to go back up, I was like, okay, let me check my balance here. But when I was in Macau, I was like, I Google searched, I was like, cryptocurrency exchanges in Macau because it's part of China, and it was like, and then I found out that Macau's like friendly towards cryptocurrency, at least from what I could see. So I was like, okay, logging in from Macau. Arden says all in on Cardano. I don't think that's a bad position to go all in on, but I mean, can't you go like all in on like five different coins and spread out? Like maybe like Cardano, Stellar, a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, maybe a little Ripple. You know, set up a private trust and give the trust owns all your crypto. It says executive director. And why would you do that? I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I mean, people are so fixated on this idea of giving. It only says, typically they say tithe 10%. So if you're trying to tithe 100% and trying to look like this great charitable person, like tithing is only 10%. So I don't understand why some of you guys are trying to talk about giving all your money away. Like you're trying to be like Bill Gates, who said he's giving away all his wealth. Well, that's because Bill Gates didn't get to be the richest man in the world by giving away all of his wealth. The way that those rich guys do it is they acquire the wealth and then for the first 50 years and then they spend the last 50 years giving it away. So if you're like 25 years old and you're talking about how you're just going to give all your money away to charity, I'm kind of like, okay, thanks. Then you come to find out these charities are just big capitalist enterprises calling themselves a nonprofit, and the corporate executives getting paid $750,000 with the money that you gave them. I donate, of course. I donate to a couple different charities. Like, and this isn't promotional for them or anything, but yeah, I donate to like Save the Children because I do research on them. I've also, if you look, you'll see Red Cross is typically on the scenes of a natural disaster. So I'll donate to Red Cross when a natural disaster happens because I see them boots on the ground. They're the ones actually passing out waters, and so I know that they're donating. But some of these other nonprofit things, I don't understand why you guys want to give away 100% of your earnings to them. Kane says Red Cross steals donation money. Okay, that's I have no reason I have no indication to say that Red Cross does that. I see Red Cross is on the scene doing a lot of different things every time. So, I mean, if you look at any natural disaster, who's on the scene? It's Red Cross. So that's why I donate to them. All charities should be on the blockchain. Yeah, I mean, if your charity's on the blockchain, there's a public ledger saying where all the money's going, right, Joe? Crypto community meetup in Vegas, says Christopher. What's going on, Christopher, in Vegas? What's a good wallet? Well, I use Ledger Nano. That's a pretty good wallet. Hardware wallets are pretty good. If you guys want me to keep on going, smash up the likes, or we're 36 minutes into this. We can end it here. Uh, the volume keeps coming in and out. So if you guys want me to keep going, let me know. Otherwise, I got to get going on with my day. And it's been a great chat with all you guys. So we'll see. 495, 500. Wax to the moon. All right. We're at 500 likes. All right. We'll keep going. You guys smashed up those likes so we can keep on going. Um, let's see. Is People are asking if now is a good time to buy EOS. Well, I could see why you'd be asking that, but my question to you would be, why have you not already invested in EOS when it was below $10? Why are you now trying to get into EOS? This is where we're having an issue with a lot of investors. Is they're only interested when the project is going way sky high. When I'm curious why you're not buying when people are why it's low, and we're having this conversation. I have to echo it for myself so that I'm also buying when it's low and not waiting till it's high. Because one of the things we learned about in late December, early January was the market appeared to be going up, but or it was going up, but it was also overvalued. And then when it corrected, we got caught up in that. I would not be surprised to see the next bull run that we do eclipse $1 trillion. I don't know how long it's going to take if it's going to happen in 2018, but if we eclipse uh, $1 trillion by the end of 2018, that would be huge. And a lot of you guys who held through that whole correction should by that time not just be back in the black or back in the green, whatever you guys like to call it, but you should be actually looking at some profit. So you know all you had to do was hold for a year, right? But if you were trying to exit out of your positions to buy back in, people who've been doing that, they've been seeing that that wasn't as easy as it seemed. So the easiest thing to do was hold. But we'll see. I don't know how many of you guys held or not. Yeah, stay calm and hodl. I mean, it's really hard for people to stay calm and hodl if for 3 months they see the market keep gradually selling off, because then they're like, "Oh my gosh, where's the bottom of this?" But what we know historically about markets is at some point it hits a bottom, flatlines a little bit, kind of sells off a little bit, and then starts to rise back up. People doubt that it's starting to rise back up like we saw. Now we're still trying to figure out if we're out of the woods, and then bam, right? Ken, LTC power. Credits. Jeff, you always talk about your taxi drivers. Next time you're in Holland, call me and talk about crypto, and you can pay with crypto also. Oh, cool. Taxi Rocco Taxi. He says, if you guys are in Holland, call him, hit him up. For those of you who are going to the Netherlands, I might just hit him up if I can find this Skype or this chat. Right, hit me up on Blockchain J on Twitter, or Island Hopper TV is also where you guys could catch up with me if you guys want to talk about travels and stuff. Yeah, Bitcoin Gold. I bought Bitcoin Gold at the airport. I bought two of them. It was easy buy, $50, 50/50. I mean, I saved money on my airplane ticket, so I was like, hey, let me buy some Bitcoin Gold at 50/50 because I had seen Bitcoin Gold once at 450, and I was like, or something like that. Bitcoin Gold had hit 400 and something. So you know what? We'll take a run with a little Bitcoin Gold here. And he's saying it's still undervalued. It could be. Yeah, it was at 443, $474 at one point. So it's sitting at $70. It's a Bitcoin brand name. It's just had a little bit of trust issues with the community. But at $50, I was like, I don't think it's going any lower than that. And if it does, it's not too much of a loss. 76, I mean, I still think Bitcoin Gold, but if you don't believe in Bitcoin Gold, don't step into Bitcoin Gold. Am I a crypto millionaire yet? No. I watched a lot of my value uh, go back when after the all time high. I mean, I felt like I was on cloud nine. I was I didn't have that much money injected. I only had like, well, I'm not going to tell you, but uh, I fell on cloud nine around about January 7th. I was like, man, cash money. I was like, and in crypto, you don't do anything that because it's all in the air. You never see these coins. But I mean, but I don't get outrageous like that. I was just thinking, I was like, where can I buy some property? Let's see, I'm gonna buy some property. Well, you guys are thinking about Lambos. What else are you thinking about, right? Well, I wasn't thinking about cars. I was thinking about boats and property. What do you guys think about when you start thinking about like what happens uh if your uh portfolio starts really taking off? What do you guys think about land? Kane says land. Bit degree. You'll be a millionaire soon, mate, so don't worry. I think about houses. Well, I'm not really worried about it. And I say that because uh it's not why I'm invested in this. Like to me, money is a resource, and I hope that we all become resourceful. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying let's become millionaires. I'm saying let's become resourceful. And so, what do you do with the resource of money? What do you do with the resource of finance? Do you become a community influencer who helps build parks? Do you help build the next? Do you invent the next battery that changes the world? Do you invent the next? So right now, one of the things that I noticed about Asia and America is diet. So um, the American diet is causing a lot of unhealthy people. So I one of the things that comes up to me is like, how do we change the farming practice in the United States to be more healthy? Why are so many people out of shape? What is it that's doing it? And I think it's because when we farm, and I know this is unrelated to cryptocurrency, but this is a social issue, and we can have this conversation here because we're all adults. But I feel as though the farming that is done in the United States is done for volume and not for quality. And so whenever you do things, you have the McDonaldization, or if you want to call it that, of America. So it would be nice to see the dietary practices in the United States get more healthy for quality of life, and without having to be so extreme and saying that we all need to be vegans, because not all of us need to be vegans. It's if we're going to eat meat, it needs to be farmed correctly and not with some cow or some pig that's just been spending the last 2 years getting injected with hormones to get real fat and been sleeping on a concrete slab. And that meat is not going to be healthy to consume, but people are consuming it because that thing's been juiced up. So yeah, education is health, and because I have that education, I can see that the dietary practice in the United States needs to change, and we need to start farming for quality and not farming so much for quantity always. Yeah, milk. See, milk is not even bad either. Like, I mean, if you look back in history, many of dairy was a big industry and it was healthy. Like people used to feed, but now you watch how they milk these cows. These cows will have blood on their udders and they're still milking it. And because they pasteurize it and turn that blood into like white milk, it looks like milk, but you're really consuming like part pus and blood from this milk. And then I'm like, I'm not even going to drink milk anymore because I don't even know what the farming practice is over there that's produced this milk. Because because they're essentially abusing this poor animal, okay, so that I can drink milk that I might not even drink the full milk. Like half of the milk might get thrown away. So it's it comes down to my responsibility as a consumer to make sure that I eat everything, but also the farming practice needs to improve so that we can improve our health, get our minds clear, and become healthy again in the United States. Clancy says milk causes phlegm. Well, what causes phlegm? What in the milk causes the phlegm is the real question, right? Oh, dude, I didn't. Yeah, I drink milk, I eat ice cream and all that, but once I saw that PETA video where they were like walking through there and you could see like, and I got to thinking, if you go into those grocery stores and you see all the milk on the counters and you're like, wow, that had to take a lot of milk, and then you start thinking about all the grocery stores all across the the state or the city, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of cows. They got milked, and what if the conditions look like that? So sad because I like cheese. I like cheeseburgers, all that. It's sad for the animals, I think, more than sad for my little belly, right? Chinese food better in China or America? It depends. I One thing I will say is that Chinese people, the Chinese people appear to be healthier. Asians appear to be healthier, and I'm trying to figure out why that is. And I think it has a lot to do with more than one things. I think diet is one of the reasons, but I also one of the things that I discovered when I was over in Asia was I noticed like old men, like men, they fellowship a lot. Old men and women. Like it's not uncommon to see a group of like five women or five men by themselves, like walking around. In the United States, it's really uncommon to see that. Like if you're in your 30s, you won't be associating with five men unless you're at a bar or something. Like these guys, five men in Asia will go out. They'll go walk around the town sober, drinking coffee, talking, and having fun, just hanging out. In the United States, you won't see five 35-year-old men walking around the streets hanging out, just having fun, um, unless they're drinking. On your video the other day, everyone is relaxed when walking about. Yeah, people are relaxed. That's what I'm trying to say. Is so I noticed in going to Asia. Smash up the likes, guys, if you guys want me to keep on going. If not, I can end it here because I don't want to keep boring you guys if you guys don't want to talk about crypto. But this is kind of off subject on crypto. This is just talking about regular stuff. Everyone already liked. All right. Well, I'll keep going then, but I'll just tell this story real quick. So, yeah, people are generally happy over there. Like, if you ask someone, so they'll always say, always happy, every day happy. And I'm like, that's really great. If I go to over here to talk to someone in the United States, just an average American, I say, are you happy? They'll be like, half of them will be like, telling me that they're depressed or not very happy. So what's going on? What gives? Why are Asians more happy uh, in these societies than the Western people are? And what is it? And so I think part of it has to do with the diet and the fellowshipping that they do, the sharing of laughs sober. Americans don't typically just hang out sober, right? So I think that has an element to do with it is like healthy fellowshipping. Yeah, America is pissed off. There's something wrong in America. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but obviously being around Asia and now I'm going to the mainland. I'm going to go explore the mainland a little bit now that it's summertime. I'm going to go try and see what I can figure out about why it is that Americans deal with so much depression, so much anger and hostility and just unhappiness. And I think a lot of it has to do with the diet and the lack of communal just fellowshipping amongst each other in a hearty way. Maybe people are drunk. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that they're better. Overall, I'm just saying that. people are happier. If people are happier, you could tell. Like you go to like Fresno, for example. I used to live in Central California. Fresno was not a very happy place. The people in Fresno were not very friendly. I went to San Diego. People were way happier. I was like, you could have a conversation with people in San Diego so much easier than you could with a small chat with someone from Fresno. So you do it is apparent. You'll go somewhere and see that people are happier in one place than another. And in Asia, it's just a friendlier, more happy place than most of the cities across America. But there are some happy cities in America. Oregon's a happy state. Is it because they're smoking cannabis? I mean, Oregon, when I was in Oregon, I was like, man, the people in Oregon are friendly. Oh, all of a sudden I said cannabis legalization. You guys are like 420 over here. Um, Fresno, yeah, Fresno's. I don't know if I'd go back to Fresno. Yeah, we're not talking crypto because we open it up. So the first 20 minutes of this video, 25 minutes of the video, we talk crypto, and then we open it up to discussion. Um, but if you guys have any crypto questions, I mean, I'm going where you guys want to talk. This is all communication with you guys. So if you guys want to talk crypto, ask the questions of crypto. If you want to talk about Amsterdam and 420, then that's what we'll talk about. If you're poor in Thailand, you can still eat healthy. Yeah, I mean, well, the water, you can get gastro pretty crazy over there. But yeah, I mean, and in Thailand, like they'll take care of you. Like they just look out for each other. It's like a very like community. Where in the United States, it's like every man for themselves. It's like, man, don't ask me for nothing, man. You can worry about that. Well, and it's not that those people who look out for themselves are bad, because I've had to put myself in that position. Although I don't mind helping people out, it's just when you get taken advantage of because someone asks you for money over and over and over, and then they don't really appear to do anything other than just keep asking you for money, and they keep wanting to jerk around. Then you're like, wait a second here. I'm not going to keep catering to this person or enabling this person to be uh, a jerky boy. Amsterdam. Thomas says Amsterdam is a very crypto friendly city. I look forward to going there. Why does Ripple get good news every day and still stay low? Well, because Ripple has a lot of big cap. So the thing that drives the market is big capital. Like when big investment firms come into crypto, that's what drives the price. It's not really the average everyday investor investing in crypto. Part of the thing that's also keeping Ripple low is we're not seeing new volume. So there's really no new investors coming in. And that's why we keep talking about the thing that's going to drive the market's growth is going to be when we go from 1% to 5% to 10% mainstream adoption. And part of the thing that does that is Bitcoin. When Bitcoin starts soaring up, so when Bitcoin starts mooning, that's why Bitcoin is the one that we're waiting on here. Outside of this, I have no evidence to suggest that any other altcoin is going to be able to have the influence on societies on the mass adoption like Bitcoin can. So we're kind of all just waiting on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the brand that moves the market. Once Bitcoin starts getting in the news, so Ripple being in the news, you're just basically being told like, hey, basically what that tells you is like the bricks are being laid, the foundation is being laid. Ripple is a strong opportunity to get into, but it's not an indicator that the price is going to go up. The thing that news is telling you is, hey, this is good news for Ripple. You're basically being told like this is a solid project here. Yeah, if you, that's what I was saying. So he says, good to see you live. If you guys are not getting notified about these live videos, you need to turn on the bell. So if you turn on the bell, you'll get notified. Because I like it. I like when there's a lot of you guys on these videos. It gives me the energy to keep on going because the discussion, there's so much brain power coming in that I'm consuming through these comments and through the community that it's like it charges me. It makes me want to keep going live. If it was, I guess you could say I'm a glutton for good energy, but for crypto energy. But at the same time, I mean, that's what really charges me. I'm not going to deny it. George says something about ladyboys again. Here we go. We got about the ladyboys. Uh, Joshua Lampert says, "Do not fly Spirit, Jeff." I've heard some horror stories about that. Man, I went online today because I like flying first class if I ever get a chance. Sometimes you can upgrade to like business class for $100, right? So if your ticket's $500, you pay another $100, you fly in business class, and it's worth it. I was looking at like top airlines, first class airlines across the world. The top 10, not a single one was from the United States. Yet another reason why I'm talking about the McDonald'sization of America. It's like the diet, like what is up with America? It's like we've been just going like this, and I like see it. And I'm like, so like when someone says they're going to make the country great again, I'm like, well, someone's going to have to, because if we don't get our heads out of our butt, we're just going to keep going like this. And I'm like, I don't know how much lower we can go. At some point we got to bottom out and start going back up again. But like America, the Wright brothers in North Carolina invented airplane flight, yet the top 10 first class air carriers in the world, not one of them is American. I'm not talking about American Airlines. I'm talking about United, Delta, all those. So it's just really disgusting to see that it used to be called the American standard, like a toilet. It's called the American standard. Nowadays, the American standard is like, hey, there's McDonald's, there's KFC, there's Taco Bell. Hey, there's United Airlines. It's just weak. It's weak. It's like whatever happened to like holding the bar high. Like I wouldn't be surprised if our basketball teams and baseball teams and soccer. I mean, look at soccer. We don't even like make it to the Sweet 16 of soccer. Like so America, and I know a lot of you guys aren't from America that watch these videos, so I'm not just championing America, but I'm saying like America's got to get like, it's a big country, 320 million people. We got a lot of manpower here to get a lot of stuff done. Let's do it. Jeez Louise. Basketball is Canadian. Yeah, actually, basketball was invented in Canada, wasn't it? All right. Big like for Altcoin Buzz. Greetings from Croatia. I look forward to going to Croatia. Yeah, there's Europe's another one of those places you can learn a lot from. If you guys are from America and you ever want to go to Asia or Europe, I could tell you a lot of great things about those places. But one of the things that I learned about Europe is there's a great sense of like culture there and art. I'm not big on art, but when I went to Europe, I started to finally discover art. Like all, it's like, if you want to learn a foreign language, don't take a class, just start trying to talk in that language. Same thing with like art. Don't take a class on art. Go to Europe and experience art. Go see Gaudi in Barcelona. Go see Paris, Versailles. Go, all these places and learn about Europe, and you'll come back feeling more mentally enriched and creative. And I think that's why I'm really big on encouraging Americans to actually travel around the world to see that there's more to life than what they got going on in hunky dory, Tennessee. Can you give me some recommend for that? What are you talking about, Armature? My travel channel name is Island Hopper TV. You can follow me on Twitter at Island Hopper TV. YouTube, Island Hopper TV. Island Hopper, HOPPER TV. I mostly use Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Do you think Americans became spoiled? Yeah. The other word for spoiled is complacent. So it's like if you have it too good for too long, you forget what it feels like to have to really earn your keep or whatever. And so I think Americans have good hearts. I think they're good people. I think that what just ended up happening is things became too easy, and the quality went down. So it was a quality standard that went away. And it happens everywhere. It could happen anywhere. It could happen in China, it could happen in Japan, it could happen in the United States, it could happen in Germany. So it's just one of those things that happens when life gets too good, you get complacent. Kind of another word for that is spoiled. They say disagree, Americans have been sold out. So sold out. So I mean, I think there's an element of like personal responsibility alongside also governmental responsibility that could be an issue. But I don't really want to get too much into politics here because that's just if that was the case, we'd start a political channel. Anyways, guys, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Smash up those likes if you guys like these videos, and also turn on the bell to get notified when videos like this drop.